Hello everybody, Corey here. In this video, we're going to do the daily roundup of the single stock ETFs and YBIT. As a reminder, I'm not a qualified licensed investment or financial advisor. I just gather the data and present it to you to help you make more informed decisions. YieldMax ETFs are extremely risky. Make sure you've read through the prospectus, understand the risk involved with these before investing in them. So we're going to jump over to our daily tab here. You can see all the trades that were made, significant amounts of money. You're looking at Coney with a total of bringing in 1.1 million. Misty brought in 8.2 million. And then YBIT, it says it brought in almost 3.7 million. So interesting. So let's move on. Here were the net assets and the shares outstanding. If you want to see this data again, please pause this so you can look at it. And then we have the closing price for yesterday, the NAV, and the difference. If you want to see that again, pause the video. And then here we will we'll just look down through here. Anybody that was outside 2% yesterday. So we have AMDY, it was up 3%. We have NVIDIA up 2%, and everything else was within 1% yesterday. So I wonder if it was a little choppy day here. But feel free to pause this here if you want to look at these individual stocks and where they were. So I'm going to move on here to the underlying. So we have the IV actually unloaded for all of those if you'd like to see that here, and the closing current price. And then anything outside the percentages here, or outside 1%, we have AMD was up 4% yesterday. I like that. Then we have Meta, though. Meta was down 2%. Moderna was down 2%. And Squee was down 2%. So very interesting. So pause the video here if you want to look at these more in depth, but I am going to hide this data. And then what we're going to do, I feel, there's not going to be much because it seemed like a really choppy day. But if we're looking here in column Z, this is the difference between the changes of these two to try to identify, which did better than others. Honestly, there's nothing outside 2% here. There's a few 1%ers, like AMD. Obviously, it did better by 1%, then it did better than AMDY. Coin, apparently Coney actually did better than Coin here. Obviously, you can't see it in these rounded numbers here. But actually, when I click on them, you can see here at the bottom of the screen, it says negative 57 cents, which of course then it rounds up to 1. On this one, it says negative $1.39. So yeah, that is, Coney did do 1% better there. And then we have same thing with PayPal. PayPal did 1% better, and Squee did 1% better. Everything else was 0%. So very small, which I don't know what happened with the market yesterday since we were at Volcano Bay. So I'm a little off, and I thought I'd change that. But let's see. We have 23 of these, and 3 here. 3 underlines did better than the YieldMax, which means we had 20 YieldMaxes that did better than the underlying. So that's very significant considering we actually closed in the green on both of these yesterday, though it was very slightly. I'm guessing it was just a choppy day all day, but I clearly don't know since I didn't hear the market yesterday. As far as recovery, we did have another one recover. AMDY, yeah, so it went up 4% yesterday, so it did end up, AMD went up 4% yesterday, sorry, AMDY did go up enough to recover its dividend, so we have that one. Of course, our first one, Phoebe, it isn't fully recovered anymore, which is why I had mentioned in one of my days to recovery about possibly doing a separate spreadsheet to show those that actually remained recovered versus just when did they initially recover. I think I had maybe one person said they would like to see that, so I don't know. I know that's something I think I would like to see. But anyway, we will move on. So pause your video here or take your screenshot so you can review this data if you want to look at these more in detail. So Here we have our max strike prices for our short calls, with the exception of this one because it's not being coded properly, or not being coded like it normally does, so it's messing up my formula. So let me look, because I forgot to look at that. Misty. Yeah, so it's coming, so it should be 15. Okay, no, the high is 14.10. This is going to be our issue, but we do have 2 today. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm getting to where I can't hardly talk right this second. So let's go back to the daily. Yeah, so make sure that the synthetic will probably be off, but this 2 is actually correct today anyway. So anyway, here in this column, this is the maximum strike price of all of the short calls that each one of these have. And then this is just the difference between the current stock price and the current max strike price. And then of course we have our difference here. So if we look down, Tesla is the only one at this point that's actually over its strike prices. The rest of these are under, though this one only very slightly here for OARC. And then, of course, this is how it affects the stock price. So this is saying basically it's bringing the stock down of Tesla 80 cents or almost 5% due to being over the strike price. And if we move on, so this is where we have an issue, because those being coded incorrectly. I think it said 1550. I could be wrong. Let's look real quick. $15.50, yeah. All right, so these are all the synthetic strike prices. Most of them only have 1. Then there's the exception with Tesla that has 2. I don't even know what I just said. Let me make sure I said this right. Synthetic. So these are the synthetics. Which one looks the worst? This one. Crash. Yeah, but it's not. It's a little different. So let's look at a different one. So let's look at the 27% here. So Moderna, its synthetic strike price is $160, and I know this one expires next week. It is below that synthetic strike price by $43.56, or it's below 27%. For the synthetics, we do want the stock price to be above this, with the exception of the short put ones, which just crash, and it's 27% below it, and that's why it's bad. And then if we look over here, how that affects the stock price, it's bringing Murny's stock price down $5.50 or 37%. Now with crash, it's a little different, right? We want it's the opposite. Here we want the stock price to be below this synthetic here, and it is not. It's actually above that synthetic strike price by $83.50 or 49%. And then again, you can see the stock prices. Now YBIT down here, it is below its synthetic by $15 or 44%, and it says it's bringing the stock price down $11.89 or 78%. So anyway, that was just a quick look. And then if any of you remember, we had an issue with one outstanding share or contracts on one of these. I don't remember which one it was, but it's gone now. But anyway, just wanted to give y'all a quick update. Hopefully this doesn't take too long to upload to YouTube like yesterday's, but I have a feeling it's probably going to be like that all week, unfortunately. And if you watch my other video and somebody was weeding it in the background, I apologize. I honestly didn't hear it until after the video, so I don't know when he started, but I came inside in the condo or whatever, so y'all could hear me okay. But anyway, I will talk to y'all later. Bye.